In the last video, we talked about how to choose your first firearm without regret, and today we're going to narrow that down even further. Specifically, we're going to talk about caliber and pistol size and why those two decisions matter a lot if this gun's going to be more than just a range toy. If this is your first video here, welcome. We're building this from the ground up. No hype, no brand loyalty, and definitely no ego. The goal here is very simple, to help you make a smart, confident decisions that will actually hold up over time. I'm going to repeat something from the last video because it's that important. Before we talk about caliber, we need to be honest about what this firearm is for. If your only goal is target shooting and learning the fundamentals, having fun at the range, well, that opens up a lot of options. That's where 22 shines. 22 long rifle is a fantastic training round. It's affordable, has very low recoil, and it lets you focus on your grip, trigger control, sight alignment without fighting the gun. If all you want to do is shoot paper or steel, then a 22 is probably a great choice. But that's not the whole conversation.
When we talk about defensive calibers, I'm not interested in internet arguments or chest thumping. I'm interested in what actually matters: reliability, penetration, and your ability to control that pistol. Your ability to put rounds accurately where they need to go under stress is the most important thing. A round you cannot control doesn't help you, and a gun you won't train with won't protect you well. Okay, I want you to be very clear about what you're going to be seeing here and why I chose to show it this way. I'm only showing a full-size 22 long rifle pistol and a full-size 9mm pistol, and that's intentional. The goal here isn't to compare every caliber. The goal is to show recoil and muzzle flip and how they change from weapon to weapon. Now, this is a common defensive round in the same platform. Alright, same grip, same stance, same shooter.
What I want you to notice isn't the noise or the flash, it's how far the sights shift and how much work it takes to get back down on target. This isn't about recoil being bad, recoil is just work. And as calibers increase, the amount of work increases. But in a mid or full-size pistol, that work is very manageable with proper fundamentals. When we talk about defensive calibers, I'm not interested in internet arguments or chest thumping. 45 ACP, my favorite round, doesn't really matter. What actually matters is reliability, penetration, and control. And your ability to accurately put these rounds where they need to go. A round you can't control can't help you. And a gun you don't train with can't protect you either. That's why 380 and 9mm, they're probably the most sense for new shooters, for a full-size or mid-size gun. And that's why for a defensive handgun, I'm going to start recommending either a 380 or 9mm full-size or mid-size handgun. Both offer proven defensive performance and widely available ammunition with manageable recoil, and a strong reliability in modern pistols. Between the two, 9mm is the most common choice, and for a good reason. It's effective. It's affordable compared to the other defensive calibers, and it's supported by a massive ecosystem of training, ammunition, and equipment. There's one more factor we need to talk about, and it's one that affects your progress more than most people realize. Ammunition cost and availability matter a lot. Right now, 380 ACP typically costs about 20 to 25% more than 9mm, and that gap adds up fast if you're training regularly. That means fewer rounds downrange. That means fewer range trips, fewer practice sessions, and slower progress. And that's why 9mm has an advantage, because 9mm is the most widely used defensive handgun caliber, and it benefits from scale. There are more ammunition options, more defensive loads, more train ammo, and more availability overall. That popularity, it keeps prices lower and makes it easier to find ammo even when supply gets tight. That being said, the best caliber on paper doesn't help you if you can't afford to practice with it. A gun you shoot more will always beat a gun you wish you shot more. That doesn't mean 380 ACP is a bad choice. For some people, especially in smaller carry guns, it makes a lot of sense. See my wife's gun. But when you factor in recoil, cost, availability, altogether I think 9mm is often the most forgiving and flexible starting point for new shooters. Now let's talk about pistol size, because this is where a lot of new shooters make life harder than it needs to be. Mid-size and full-size pistols, they're easier to shoot. They have longer sight radius. They have more grip surface and less felt recoil. Where subcompact pistols, there's nothing wrong with them, but they're going to be snappier and harder to shoot, and you're not going to want to train with them nearly as often. Here's the mindset I want you to carry forward. You don't need the perfect gun. You need a gun that you can control, that you will train with, and that you can trust to function when it matters. That's why a mid to full size pistol in 380 ACP or 9mm is such a strong starting point for so many people. In this next video, we're going to talk about fundamentals and some of the unglamorous stuff that actually makes people really good shooters. We're going to talk about grip, trigger control, and why chasing speed too early will actually slow your progress. If you stick with these fundamentals, you'll become a better shooter than I ever was, and really that's the whole point.